Hey, Joe.
Hey, Tammy.
I have a question.
All right, what's the question?
How can I best share articles that I have written on LinkedIn? I noticed that when I write an article, it doesn't get a ton of traction on LinkedIn. Do you find the same thing?
Absolutely, because articles by default just sit in your profile. They're not posts. You see, posts are 1,300 characters. Articles are long form content that should sit in your profile. So if you're on LinkedIn, on the homepage, you go to your profile by clicking on your photo. And once you pass your name, your summary, and your private dashboard, if you're logged in, you're going to see a section that's called Articles and Activity. When you click on See All Articles, you will get to a list of all your articles. You'll also be able to see a list of your posts and all activities in different tabs on top. But let's say you wanted to share an article. What would be the best way to share your article? Because by default, your articles never get shared. I recommend sharing an article every day. So how do you share an article? You go into the article. That's number one. Number two is you find a piece of content within the article that would be great to share. So for example, I'm going to share some of Dennis Brown's tips. I'm going to share 3 tips from Dennis Brown. I'm going to copy the tips. Then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click share. Okay. I click on the share button and then I click on, it gives me an option Facebook or Twitter. You can share it on Facebook and Twitter too, but in this case, we're going to be sharing it on LinkedIn. A pop-up will open up if you're using a desktop computer and it'll ask you, do you want to share it as a private message or do you want to share it inside a post? In this case, we're going to be sharing it in a post. And it's going to open up a window that allows you to paste content or to write content about the article. So I'm just going to paste in the content that Dennis Brown talked about, and I'm going to actually change it a little bit. I'm going to write, in our recent influencer conference, we had at Dennis Brown. You see, at Dennis. I'm going to click on his name here, at Dennis Brown. And that will highlight and mention a name. In our recent influencer conference, make sure I spelled conference correctly, we had Dennis Brown, and he gave us 9 tips of success. Here are 3. Number 1, post relevant content. I'm going to put a number 1 here, post relevant content. Number 2, 80% of your content should have nothing to do with your business. And number 3, is only 20% of your content should be about your business or what you do. Okay, these are the 3 tips that he gave. I'm gonna press pause. I'm gonna say, see all the tips in the article below.
Awesome. Okay, so you've added a call to action at the bottom. You tagged someone, so that will expand the reach even more. And you changed up the first 2 lines to make it more catchy, to draw people's attention and have them click more.
Yep. And I also added Influencer Summit. I'm going to call it Influencer Summit 2019, which was the hashtag that we used back then. And I could also use a hashtag called LinkedIn and a hashtag called tips. So this way it gets even more exposure. I added more hashtags, okay? And now I'm going to press post, and that will post to my LinkedIn. It says post successful. If I want to view the post, which I recommend you viewing the post and QAing it, it'll open up a new window and actually show me this particular post. And Dennis Brown will get a notification that we posted this, and hopefully he'll like it and his entire network will see it.
Awesome. So now people will see this post and hopefully some of them, a certain percentage of them, will click on the article and actually read the article.
That's right. And where will they see the post? They will see the post inside their feed. So if you go to your feed, you can see all the recent things that are going on. And let me show you how that looks for other people.
How often do you recommend that we share a post from an article? For articles are pretty long and you put a lot of time and effort into them. Do you recommend that we share content from an article and write a post about it once a week or once every other week? And I personally recommend that you go through the whole article basically and cut it up and share it all as posts. But over how long? How long should there be between posts about the same article?
I think that you should post let's say, depending on how many articles you have and depending on how important that article is, but if you're posting every single day and you have, let's say, 100 articles, you can post 1 article per day.
I mean, let's be real. Who's doing that? We're not all Gary Vaynerchuk. So let's say I'm writing one article a month.
Okay, so then
One article a week is like,
share it once a week. Have a day that you share your article, share it once a week.
No, but I'm saying, Joe, let's say I write an article once a month and I want to repurpose that into different posts. So I wrote an article last month and I'm still getting post usage off of that. I'm saying, how often should I share that post on LinkedIn?
So my recommendation is once a week, you should be sharing something about the
same article.
Yeah, for 90 days. So split it into 12 pieces, 12 different posts about that article. And for 90 days, you can keep sending people to that article.
And only one day a week should you share an article. Is that right?
I like doing it personally. It depends on your preference. I like doing it every day.
You share an article every day, but you post more than once a day.
Yeah, I post like 10 times a day, but not everybody has to be that aggressive. But I would say at least once a week. That's the minimum. Share an article at least once a week.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. That answers all of my questions.
Awesome.